Quick video on the Resident Evil showcase. Since yesterday they've shown a bit more footage, a bit more info about the game. And to be honest, I have to say, so far it seems an interesting game. There's not really much I I don't like that they've shown. The only point of contention, like I said in one of my previous videos, is that I don't think the double character was really necessary. I think they could have made it work just with Leon, but it's okay. And Leon's gameplay looks pretty fun, honestly. It's pretty much Resident Evil 4 gameplay with some other tweaks, like the possibility to pick up enemies' weapons, the very aggressive style of the combat where you just pull off finishers after damaging the enemy on their limbs, on their torso, or whatever. You can just finish them off with some cool moves, which, yeah, feels like an evolution from Resident Evil 4. It kind of makes it look like the obliteration techniques from Ninja Gaiden, to be honest. But yeah, I like those. And with Grace, yeah, they've confirmed she's pretty much Resident Evil 7 Ethan, let's say. They've tried to. I find it funny, like they only mention, yeah, we have thought about Resident Evil 2 with Grace, we have thought about Resident Evil 4 with Leon, but they never mention Resident Evil 3 remake because they know people didn't like it, so they they're like trying to act like it doesn't exist. And yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, Grace will not be too much of a slog in that sense. I hope they are not putting all their eggs into Leon's basket and alphasing Grace portions of the game, because I don't want it to feel like a slog, because there's the risk that the game space will feel very inconsistent considering how. Now, imagine if you're playing Resident Evil 2 remake and then you start playing in the middle of the game Resident Evil 4 remake. Like, the two things play quite differently. So yeah, I hope it doesn't. The disconnect is not too strong in the sense that Grace doesn't feel fun to play. I hope they have crafted an interesting experience even with just her. Because Resident Evil 7 was okay, but it had a lot of things that did not work. One of them was the enemies, that they felt quite generic after a while. But the zombies, are, honestly, zombies are my favorite enemies. One of my big problems with Resident Evil 4 is that it doesn't have zombies. So like this game looks like the Resident Evil 4 game I always wanted, with Leon and zombies. And the only thing I'm probably not gonna like, I already know, it's the feeling, because I'm pretty sure this game is gonna control like Resident Evil 4 remake with the whole inertia movement, which is typical of the Resident Evil engine at this point, of Capcom development. The physics, the character feels too heavy in Resident Evil 4 remake. There's inertia, like in a Rockstar game, which I honestly don't like in these types of games. So hopefully that's, like I said, it's not too prevalent. And the other thing, I don't like how Capcom designs their games in the last few years are the difficulty, in the sense that when they balance the hardest difficulty, they just make enemies bullet sponges, and that's just not fun to play. Honestly, it's like, especially if you take Resident Evil 4 remake, you had enemies on hardcore if you played hardcore. with a new game. The enemies could tank mostly like the mini bosses, but it just doesn't feel good to play when an enemy can tank a shotgun to the face and doesn't flinch. Just not fun. So hopefully this is not the case with this game, but given Capcom's, like I said, recent design choices, I don't know. This is probably are gonna be the two things I dislike the most: the inertia in the movement and the hardest difficulty, which is probably gonna be how fast. Hopefully not. But for the rest, the game seems okay. I think I'm probably gonna buy it day one, which is, I mean, I haven't bought a Resident Evil day one in a long time. I think the last one was Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm not sure. Actually, no, I don't think not even that. It's been a long time, but this one looks interesting. There's zombies. The atmosphere looks cool. The enemies. I mean, there's probably gonna be other enemies, not just zombies. The story might be interesting because it involves Umbrella, Raccoon City, so it's probably gonna be interesting. I don't think the story in this game is going to be like something that spans multiple games, like for example Resident Evil 7 and 8 were. I think it's gonna be pretty self-contained. So like once the enemy is killed, this that's it. The next game we're gonna have something different. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll reveal something that actually makes the series go into more of this direction. It looks interesting. That's all I can say. Like this is probably the best endorsement I can give to this game. Like saying I'm gonna buy it day one, probably. So hopefully, like I said, the game is fun. It comes out next month. There's not too much bullshit. Like not too many bugs, not too much broken stuff, like performance issues or other stuff. Because I hope the game does well, and we get more Resident Evils focused on horror and some action because some action is okay. I don't want them to be all action, but some action is okay, and this game seems to be an okay in between. Even though, like I said, I hope the disconnect between the two characters is not too much that it feels like a slog when you switch characters. Because it is, like I said in my previous video, they are gonna be you play one section as Grace and then you switch to Leon. So it's going to be sort of like Code Veronica, but differently from Code Veronica here, it's probably gonna be multiple times when you switch characters. So you play a little bit as Grace, then you play a little bit as Leon, then again as Grace, then as Leon. As opposed to Code Veronica, where you play as Claire and then you switch to Chris, and then that's it. You finish the game and it's over. So let me know your thoughts, guys, about what they have shown, and if you're gonna buy this game, if you find it interesting, and I'll catch you very soon. Bye bye.